Okay, Cass, so we have now seen The Kiss of Death on 2 shows in a row, where as soon as the star of the show proclaims that it is their show, that you guys are all here because of fucking me, they go home.
Yep, that is the end. Reality stars, take note. Never say it's your show.
Yeah, be humble. We are recapping season 41, episode 4 of The Challenge. If you have not watched this episode, you are about to hear spoilers right out of the gates here, so get out of here. This week, we are going to recap this episode, and then we've got some other topics to get into. But first, I just wanted to chit chat a little bit about just our overall feelings of this episode and what we've seen online this week regarding this episode, because it's starting to get juicy.
It is. So first of all, I loved Gabe this episode, and it just made me stand even more firm in everything I said last week, where I felt like Nia was wrong for coming at him so hard
Yeah.
with her knee injury and all that. And I thought he handled it fine. And then last week you said to me, like, is that typical behavior? Like, I'm reading in the comments, that's not really how she is. And I said, no, that seems like who she is. And then Coral, who used to be on the show, made, I guess, a TikTok or an Instagram, and she was basically just calling out the retire part because, I told you last week Nia had done something where she announced she was retiring, and Coral didn't care for that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that Coral was nasty about it. She just didn't, not specifically towards Nia, but Nia's comment.
No, she was just sort of criticizing the idea that you like retire from reality TV shows, and just like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't even that bad of a diss, and it certainly, like, I don't know, I wouldn't have taken it that personally.
Right. Because, and all she was saying is, like, it's not as if like now you're collecting your 401k or what, like, that's not what that is. And yeah, Nia's response was just, I felt like it completely proved my point when I said that, yeah, that's not out of character for her to act like that.
Yeah, she came at her, and we can talk a little bit about that in our gossip pop culture section of this podcast, which comes later. But yeah, she doesn't look good in my eyes, at least. No. But Gabe had a really kind of sweet, vulnerable moment on this episode that I really liked and appreciated. Him opening up about his insecurities, and, we saw some tears from him, and I didn't feel like that was acting.
Was that early in the episode? I don't remember him crying.
Oh, yeah, he got kind of tearful when he was talking to his friend, his really only friend in the house, or the person he's confided in the most. And yeah, he was just saying that he's kind of lost his confidence. He used to do a lot of things that gave him a lot of self-esteem, and now he's here and he's not very well liked in the house, and it's sort of like crushing his spirits. And so he kind of gave him a pep talk and was like, listen, tonight you have an opportunity to prove yourself. And we definitely saw that to be the case. I mean, he's such a beast.
Was this when he was sitting there talking with him and Cara Maria, and Cara Maria was like, just lean into the fact that you can't compete? And
no, he was sitting at a picnic table with...
I don't know how I missed this.
I don't know if you missed it. Maybe I saw like an extended version of the episode or something. I don't know. Yeah, it does seem like he's rubbed too many people the wrong way at this point, and I worry even with his good showing in the elimination round that he might not be well liked enough to get through, but maybe people will see him as an asset, and then maybe he can start to prove himself in his social games. I'm intrigued to watch how he handles the rest of the season, and to see if he can like let his insecurities not run the show, because trust and believe, if that was me, I would also be imploding. And if people didn't like me in the house, it would make me a worse version of myself. So I can totally understand the mental game that you have to be playing here.
I think I almost like, it makes me want to go back and watch like episode 1 and maybe 0 again, because there was so much going on that I was just trying to keep track of all of it, like the rules and the people and all of that, because I guess as we sit and talk about it, I don't remember a lot of behavior that I would have thought would have made him not well liked.
I didn't either. I just get the sense from other people talking about him. 100%. So there must be a lot that we haven't seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Or maybe it's just like a general energy that he brings that's just like people are not liking or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how all that plays out. And then, this week also had me scratching my head, because I'm like, how is it that now 2 weeks in a row we have had pretty straightforward physical challenge and puzzle games? Like the puzzle game today was, or this week was Sudoku. Sudoku. I always say that wrong. Sudoku. So yeah, that puzzle game is like you can get that at the fucking airport on your way to the challenge. Like you know that there are going to be puzzle games. Why are you not practicing all of your puzzling? And the same thing with these people being like, if you think I know how to swim this year, I still don't. And it's like, you guys are so annoying. Like you all pretend like you take this so seriously and it's your freaking whole life and you live to compete in the challenge and I'm a vet. I've been here before. And it's like, oh, I still don't know how to swim. And what is Sudoku? And I'm just like, you guys are lame.
Okay, so I agree with you 110% on the swimming. On the puzzle, I was really surprised because, like, my husband and I have watched the show before, and he loves that game that they're playing, that whatever
Sudoku.
it is. That's the one. And so even he, when we were watching it, and he was like, is that the puzzle? And I was like, yeah, because usually we always talk about the fact that the puzzle is something you could not practice. It's so crazy. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, it's not like it's a Rubik's Cube. You're like, how in the world would I possibly prepare for something like this?
Yeah.
So this one, I was like, oh God, everybody's going to know how to do this. I don't know how to do it, mind you. Yeah.
I also thought just everyone knew how to do Sudoku, and maybe that it's like a crossword puzzle. It's like it's a pretty basic. Like Sudoku is really simple, and I'm really bad at math and numbers, and even I find it to be fairly easy.
I don't know, because my husband was trying to explain it to me for that 100th time again last night as we watched, and I think I'm worse at numbers than you then, because I understand the concept of the number can't repeat itself in this row. And I understand the concept of the number also can't repeat itself in this row. But what box are you looking at? And because he's like, and then also in this box. And I'm like, what box? There's only one giant box.
Well, it's because they didn't delineate on the show. But usually when you do Sudoku, it's like more delineated, the boxes, so you can see them. But on the show, they didn't do that, probably to make it more challenging because it's a fairly simple puzzle to solve.
Okay. All right.
It is like, I think if you did it, you would be like, oh, okay, I get it. Like it's pretty easy, but usually the boxes are boxed. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I guess that's an interesting point that because all the puzzles I've seen before, you have to kind of interpret on your own. And that's the same with Survivor. It's like, it's not a puzzle you've seen before, but maybe the concepts of the puzzle are similar to other puzzles or something. I don't really get how they would know how to do that, but I love that for them. So yeah, we are going to get into this episode. We are going to timestamp this week so that if you want to listen to the challenge part, you can do that. If you want to listen to us talk about pop culture stuff, we're going to get into some of the Jax Taylor stuff that's been going on this week. He's from the Valley and Vanderpump Rules. We're going to get into some of the Kelley Wolf stuff. We are going to talk about McBee Dynasty. Yeah, good up this week. I like to see it. And then Sister Wives returning, and then just some other like pop culture, culturally relevant conversation. But we'll timestamp that. So if you want to go to that, if you want to listen to that, that's great too. So you listening to this podcast, if you have not subscribed, if you have not followed, if you have not left a comment, please do. We would love to hear from you. It has given me life to read our comments on YouTube. I've been like every morning, like checking them and commenting back. It's so fun to see people's comments. They are correcting us, which is helpful.
Thank God. Oh my God. Some of these comments, I'm like, maybe you should be hosting with us. I don't know. I missed all that. So
yeah, we need like a fact checker.
Yeah, we do. We do. Don't listen to, listen, this is why you subscribe, right? So that you can hear what we have to say and then get the correct information down below.
Right. Exactly. Like our bad opinions and wrong takes, and then everybody's correct opinions and right takes will be just below us.
Exactly.
So thank you so much. So we'll get into some of the stuff that they corrected on us on last week, because I wanted to just talk about that for a sec. And yeah, and seriously, like every time we get a new subscriber or a new comment, it's like we don't have that many of them. It's just so exciting. We seriously celebrate every single one. And so it just means the world to us. So please do that. It will bring us so much joy, and like share it with a friend if you have friends that watch this. It would just mean the world to us. This is Confessionals and Congressionals. We are typically a twice weekly podcast, but we're pumping the brakes a little. We got a little burnt out, I think, with everything in our lives that's going on.
Yeah, and doing 3 episodes when we had to cover Taylor and pop culture. It was a lot. That 1 week really took it out of us.
It really did. So we're just going to recap the challenge right now and just bulk everything into one episode when we talk about pop culture. And then probably coming up soon, we're going to start recapping other shows as well again. Right now, there's nothing super juicy that we're both wanting to recap, although I am watching Love is Blind UK. I did watch Perfect Match. I did watch, what else have we been watching? We're watching McBee Dynasty. So if you guys like any of those shows, let us know, because we can do some episodes on that stuff. We can watch them and recap them and talk about our takes. The Love is Blind UK is really good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's some like fun, burgeoning love stories, but then some kind of drama as we're getting to the parts where they're getting closer to walking down the aisle. There's some like toxicity coming out, or I don't even know if that's the right word for it, but there is this one couple. I noted you about it earlier this week because it was triggering for me to watch, and I just like my heart sank for them because they've been going like so great this whole time, and then they have this kind of big difference in the way that they see like food and grocery shopping and stuff, which is like a huge part of life with somebody, and my heart sinks, and I hope that they can figure it out, but I think he's starting to look for ways out.
Oh,
yeah, so it's hard to watch. It's one of those situations where like he's getting in his own way, I think.
Yeah.
So let us know if you guys are interested in any of that. Yeah, my name's Lauren.
I'm Cassie.
And we're so excited to be here. So with all of that said, let's get into the show.
Oh, I got tagged! You're such a f***ing liar, Camille.
Don't take care. Hope to see you never.
Cabs are here!
Dude, stop acting like you're the number one guy in this group, man. I'm the number one guy in this group.
Things that are about to get murderous.
Okay, so before we get into the challenge, we actually have one more little segment we want to do here, which is our recommendations, what we have listened to this week or watched this week or whatever that we want to share with y'all. Cass, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I hope to have some book recommendations next week. I'm currently in the middle of like 3 dark romances, so we'll see what happens, if any of them are good. My big rec for the week, though, would be the singer-songwriter Cameron Whitcomb. I think he was on American Idol a few years ago, but he left very early. And he's got his first, what I think is like a big debut album coming out next month in September. And he's currently on tour. Almost every one of his shows has sold out. And they're all in like smaller venues, but so much so that he's been adding dates in every city.
Nice.
And his story is really inspiring. And I think he's at the Cam Whitcomb on Instagram and TikTok. And he is an incredibly hard worker. And his music, especially if like sobriety is your jam, you're going to be in all the feels. So yeah. I would go check it out.
Yes. Okay, great. I can't wait. And I've been meaning to listen to those 2 songs and I keep forgetting. So I'll have to put those on today.
Yeah, they're good.
My recommendation is Hysteria, the podcast. They do a series on YouTube, I think YouTube exclusively, called This Fucking Guy. And they talk about different guys that are ruining America and things like that. This is a Crooked podcast. Who knew that Crooked had podcasts that weren't Pod Save America?
They've got a lot now, man.
Yeah. So this is a woman-hosted podcast. And yeah, so they did This Fucking Guy on, I think, Elon Musk. The one I was watching was Jeff Bezos. So they kind of just talk about the history and all the trouble that they've gotten up to, and sort of like, it's about like the megalomaniacs of America, kind of. So it's like, I'm sure they've done one on Trump. If they haven't, I'm sure will, that kind of thing. So I really liked the episode. I love when we take down a white man that has taken up too much power and money from the rest of us. Well, literally, I was listening to a clip from a football player this week that got renewed for a $2 million contract. I don't even know who it was. It was on Dave Neal's podcast, but he was talking about how his dad didn't have running water until he was like 18. And I'm like, in the richest country in America, this should not be a thing. It just really upsets me. So take him down.
Yeah. I agree. I've seen a couple like Instagrams this week that are like, man, liberals are all about coming for the billionaires. Unless it's Taylor Swift. They'll just keep letting that one go. Fair criticism.
Yeah, I'm going to let that go in one ear and out the other.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and not think about it anymore. Okay. All right. So the challenge. So this is the highest rated season of the challenge since Ride or Dies. Did you know that?
I'm pretty sure it's because of us, but yeah.
I know. Yeah, we've been bringing a lot of attention and publicity to this like little known show.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
at least 3 more viewers, so
Woo.
all us.
And yeah, so Bananas has been spilling a bunch of tea on his podcast. That we'll get into that later. I did listen to it just like Jax's podcast. I listened to it so you guys don't have to give him a listen, and we'll recap that. And then and then we have some other tea. Okay, so the episode opens and Olivia is talking about how Johnny's little temper tantrum of I am the challenge was embarrassing.
Yep. And that's a great way to put it. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. I love that. Johnny talks about being the top male points holder, which, you talk about it and then you get crushed. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. We get gay Derek Chavez, I think is his last name. They mentioned it this episode.
Yes, they did. They were calling him by first and last.
Yeah. Theo and CT strategizing about keeping the vets together and not wanting to go against Bananas at this point. Like, I think everybody's sort of like, until Bananas is gone, we have to be with him. If we're with him, we're against him. That's kind of the vibe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and look, you always need Bananas to think you're on his side. Otherwise, he will make it his life's mission to get you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're chatting about that. Gabe, friend of the pod, we've been chatting in the DMs on TikTok because he saw one of our TikToks. And so he's talking about how he's nervous. This is the part where we get Cara Maria talking to him, and she's like giving him a bit of a pep talk. And we're getting a sense at this point that the house is irritated with him. So that's at least the sense that I was getting. People are getting like in their confessionals, they're talking about it, or just like amongst each other. And we're just kind of getting the sense that like, yeah, people aren't really too into the social game that he's playing, maybe even outside of the Nia conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get Ben. Ben has a good episode.
He did. And you know what? This was the episode where I started thinking maybe Lauren's right and we didn't see a lot of him because we're about to.
Yeah.
Because remember, we talked last week, we were like, who is this guy?
Right.
And now I'm like, well, you're here. You are definitely here.
Yeah, and you're a main player and like kind of narrating the episode this week, and he had he did great.
Was this when he was talking about CT?
Yes, he is talking about how he feels so like cozy with CT basically.
Well, and he talks about how CT, for all Johnny's talk, CT is just as up there, right? And then they do like a clip of old CT, right?
Yeah, like a montage.
Yes. And when I tell you that as I watched it, I had this nostalgic feeling where I remembered how much in my 20s and 30s I just loved toxic men. Was all I could think because I'm like, God damn, that was hot back then. Now I find the big and beefy chubsters that he calls himself equally as endearing. I'm like, I like this. But seeing him like yell in Eric's, the side of Eric's face and the backpack and just being a fuck boy, I loved it.
Yes, your toxic trait.
Yeah.
So he talks about how he's so cozy and happy when he's with CT, and then he remembers like, oh yeah, we're freaking competitors. Like I'm not supposed to be like besties with CT.
Yeah.
Even though he makes me feel so cozy. And I think that's what makes CT's social game, at least in these like later eras of his game, so good. He did the same thing on the Traders where he's calm, he's cool, collected, he makes people feel comfortable, he doesn't try to ruffle any feathers, he's not like making a big voice, he's not making a big scene, he's not drawing attention to himself.
I think this is like just the evolution of CT. This is probably the last 6 years that we've seen that become his gameplay, because it certainly did not used to be.
Yeah.
He could not stay calm, cool, collected. And
he's tired.
Yeah. I feel it, man. Let's go.
Yeah, me too. And then we get Bananas and Turbo hanging by the pool. And I did love this scene. I thought it was really funny. He's like Johnny's like walking him through some of the US sayings. And he's like, so this is skies out, thighs out. And like Turbo like whips out his notepad and he's like, okay, and he's like, these aren't bad words, right? And he's like, no, they're not bad words. And he's like, and sometimes you might say like your sun's out, buns out. And then he's like, and when you go to the club, you might say, what does he say?
Rock out with my cock out.
And every time he said cock a little rooster, like sound effect came on.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, rock out with my cock out. And then he's like, and then the girls, when they're out, they say jam out with their clam out.
Yeah. Okay, so two things. First, the fact that they like muted the word cock, but they left like clam out. Like I'm like, all right. Okay. The other thing was that Turbo asked him when he was writing down like the sky's out, thighs out, it's not bad words. You know, he does say like, so I won't get slapped. And Bananas does tell him, no, but if you say like the sun's out, bun's out, that could, you know. And what came to my mind was that somebody had commented on our YouTube about Turbo and the language barrier in one of his seasons.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so I think because I had read that comment, this felt even more like authentic to me, where I was like, I think he might really be trying to learn little phrases and sayings.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think like he's writing those down for a reason.
Yeah. And then CT comes over and gives him a little like pop quiz.
Yes,
What's this one called? What's this one called? That was great.
And he walks around with his buns hanging out.
Yeah.
And they're laughing. It's very funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
I love seeing these scenes of them like hanging out. They're strategizing, but they're also bonding. They're also just being kind of silly. So yeah,
I'm sure this is why you keep coming back. Is these moments? You
know,
if
it was all challenge, I'd be bored.
Right. Well, and as a contestant as well. You know what I mean? Right. Like as a participant on the show, it's like we're gonna go to this mansion where we get to like hang out by the pool. Also, I'm so glad to be watching a reality show where they are hanging out in the pool. I could not stand Love Island and that pool just never being touched. That bothered me to no end.
Yeah, because they have to be mic'd up. They're not allowed to do anything without mics, and so they can't go in the pool a lot of times. They have those like mic necklaces, but I think there's a lot of rules around going in the water and going in the pool. And on The Bachelor, I learned this because on The Bachelor, the contestants would sometimes like sneak into the ocean because that's how they knew they could have a private conversation away from producers about like, okay, what's the deal here? Are we going to actually get engaged at the end of this? Like, what is they would really quick try to have these little conversations when they didn't have mics on because they get no time to have any real conversations about the strategy of the show.
Yeah, and there's a way, like maybe the ocean, that's different. I don't know if they're using boom mics or whatever, but there's obviously a way to get the audio when they're in a pool because I've seen it on Vanderpump, I've seen it on The Challenge, where people are in a pool and we're hearing their whole conversation. So there's a way. I don't know what the budget over at Love Island is, but maybe we just like get Ariana one less outfit and we could hear them talk in the pool.
Oh, I'm sure it's not a budget issue. It's probably just a production issue. They probably just, there must be some reason. They must have missed something at some point, not gotten audio they needed. Like something must have happened.
It would drive me insane.
Yeah, I know. It's so hot there too. And you feel so bad. It's like you're hanging by the pool. You got to get in the pool.
There was like a TikTok that I saw on Love Island and it was like a guy that like, he's like, if I was on the show. And like the girl's like, so do you want to chat? And he's like, 1 sec. And like goes and does like a handstand in the pool. And did you see that? You know, like that would be me. That would be me whole time.
Friendship Island.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we get everyone heading to the challenge and we get a bunch of confessionals of people talking about this challenge. And so we get them talking a lot about their partners and mostly positive things from Justin. Sydney says we both have a brain, which is a lot to say in this house. So she's kind of sticking with this shtick that she's got going on. I don't know if it's her real personality or not. Apparently she blocked Bananas on Instagram.
I wonder what happened there.
I love it. Get messy. Yeah, I think I think it was her, not America. And then we get Turbo saying the only thing that's not good about her is that she's not humble, talking about Sydney.
That's a fair criticism.
Yeah, fair criticism. And also just, I'm really impressed that he, in some capacity in his adult life, has learned English and even the nuances of like the word humble versus, you know, there's so many other words you could use there, but the American language is so complicated and nuanced, and I'm impressed by his English.
Well, and I almost wonder if because obviously there was the season that he was kicked off, and then there was a lot of rumbling on Reddit and social media that he had been kicked off the show permanently. Now, obviously we know that's not true because he's on this season. But I wonder if, you know, in reading some of the comments on our YouTube, they said that he was very arrogant before. And I wonder if that's enough to humble you. Like, you almost lost your career.
Sure.
You know, like, I bet now maybe you're like, okay, I take it down a notch.
Yeah, if you're not a full-blown narcissist like Jax,
Yeah.
then losing your job might actually cause some change.
So what you're saying is we should not be looking for any big changes from Bananas?
No, I think he's gonna stay the same. He reminds me so much of Jax when I was listening to his podcast. I know.
told you. Yep.
Yeah.
One in the same.
Yeah. Maybe not quite as, like, I don't know if Bananas has antisocial personality disorder. I don't know if Bananas is the type of person who's like stealing and lying and just like not giving one single shit about anything. I think he knows the rules and tends to follow them for the most part, but he is all about him all the time.
All about it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a question. This is a newbie question. Does the hangnail always have to skip the challenge in every season, or is that just this season?
You ready? This would have to be something that's come out in the last few years because I used to watch this show religiously and we've never had a hangnail before.
Oh, so this is new.
Yes.
Okay, I wish they had a different word.
I know. I don't like that word either. Yeah.
Should we start a new word for it?
Yeah, I'm sure we could come up with something more clever than the hangnail.
Yeah. It's just gross.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Great. Well, the leftover is just fine. So we find out about the challenge, and basically it's like a huge puzzle maze where they have to like maze through and then find a puzzle, a Sudoku puzzle, and then solve it, get checked, and then they have to get back out of the maze, and they're going to do it in 2 heats.
Yeah, so for one, I was glad that this was made out of containers because when I saw the overhead during the trailer, I was like, did they build this? Like, how much waste went into this? But it was all just, truck trailers. And then the other thing is with the maze and the puzzle, because it's a maze, you might come upon a puzzle within 30 seconds, but the closer it is to the exit, the harder the puzzle.
Did they say that, or is that just an assumption that they're making?
He said it. At the beginning of I missed it the first time. Luckily, my husband caught it and was like, no, they're on a medium. And I'm like, what? And we rewound. So yes, he does tell them the closer the puzzle is to the exit, the harder the puzzle will be. It's up to you which one you decide to do, but they'll be labeled.
Okay. So then we get a confessional of Lekka feeling pressure because she wants to protect Johnny and she doesn't want them to be last. And so she's like kind of going into this being like, okay, I can't let him down.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, wouldn't she become the hangnail if he lost?
I don't know.
We'll get there.
Tell us in the comments. Okay, so we learned that the way that this is going to work is that the winners are safe from elimination. They pick a team to go up for judgment against the current hangnail, and whoever the group votes for, that's who gets to go up against the loser of this challenge, which we find out who that's going to be in a little minute. So the team with the most incorrect answers on the puzzle heads straight to elimination is what he said.
Yes.
And so we're like, okay, so the person that loses this, that does the worst, goes straight to elimination. They say at the beginning that it's like points for the Sudoku and how much time you take. Johnny said on his podcast that they did not at any point tell them that there was a time limit on this.
Yeah, I did hear that. I think I saw like a clip of his podcast going around TikTok or Instagram or something. So I did hear him say that. And it almost seems like he's trying to use that as like, had I known, then I wouldn't have lost.
Definitely trying to use that as a had I known. He's basically like, we wiped the whole board and then they called the clock. So yeah, that seems legitimate to me considering other teams also got DQ'd at the timer. And it sounds like there was no alert that your time was out. Otherwise, you would have put something up there or you wouldn't have wiped it clean before the alert or something. I think that does make sense.
I mean, it does, but I guess ultimately, like if I would think, because the timer came up in the second heat. And my thought is that if you've already been in there longer than all the other teams, well, I guess you technically wouldn't lose because it would depend how much is up on the board. Because I was going to say, if you've been in there longer, then obviously you're going to be like, all right, time. You can't possibly win now. But
well, yeah, it's just the fact that their board was totally wiped. They're like, oh, we're going to lose just by default because we don't have any points up on the board.
Now, so according to my husband, when you play this puzzle, if you get a mistake, there really is nothing else to do but start over.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's right in that if you're building on a mistake, you've screwed up your whole like section. I don't know if you have to start over because you'd have to start over that row.
Okay.
But if it's a different row, I don't think you would have to totally start over. I don't know if that was the right move or not, I guess. Okay. But 2 teams did that. Yeah, I mean, maybe we should take Trav's word for it. If he loves it, then he must know.
Yeah, he said once you've got a mistake on the board, you're going to keep messing up if you don't just take it all off and start again.
Right, yeah. So it's kind of like with crossword, where it's like if you get one of the words wrong, then you don't know what the other ones start with. You have the wrong letters.
Right,
for instance. Yeah. So, and then Adrienne says that she's taking CT on a first date. We get this little like cute little confessional thing of them. And they're like, she's like, I'm taking him on a first date because usually I take people to escape rooms on my first dates. And he's like, so they can't get away. And then they both like start laughing and they're just having the best little time together.
They were cute the entire time.
They were.
Like
they
in
have
the challenge. Yeah, in the challenge when he's like, you're in the zone, Rain Man, keep going. Like, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, in a competition where we basically get scene after scene after scene of these partners fighting with each other because one person is taking charge and the other person wants to take charge. Almost nobody was really collaborating on the puzzle. It was like, I know how to do this. You shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see them working together.
Yeah. And I honestly, like, even after the entire thing was over, I couldn't ever tell if Ashley was actually good at this or not. Like, she was so adamant that she was so great if he would just get out of the way. And I'm like, well, I'm seeing scenes where he's not doing much and neither are you. So
yeah.
I'm confused.
I know. I wasn't totally sure either. It seems like some of them were cracking under pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, I thought you'd done this before, babe.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong. As would I. But I wouldn't talk a big game is the difference. Yeah. I would be telling you from the beginning, when we get in there, I'm probably going to have a panic attack. So you got this, right? Like, I will not be able to. Which is why
we're not on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they start running. Heat one starts, they start running, and I'm just like, wow, these people are athletic. They are just really sprinting towards their spots, and we get this like montage of all the partners fighting, basically. CT is the first person to get to the puzzle, and they get to a medium level puzzle, and Adrienne is like, I got this. I love Sudoku. I'm good at this. And so she's stoked. Ashley and Leo are bickering, like you were just talking about, and going back and forth because Leo keeps trying to tell her, oh, wait, I think you should do this. Oh, I think you should do this. And she's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Seriously, I love you. Shut up. You're distracting me. But they take forever and they don't seem like they're doing a good job even with that.
No, I don't. I think she's probably good at this. Like, on an airplane, sitting on the back porch, relaxing. But under pressure, I didn't feel she was any better than he was.
No, yeah. And I think they must clash.
Yeah.
I think that she does not like him.
No.
Is she the type of competitor usually to kind of just like do her own thing, or does she do well at collaborating with people when it's the right people?
I think it really depends what the challenge is, because there's definitely things that she feels insecure about and wants the other person to carry the weight. Like, she's nervous about it or whatever. It almost seemed like she was just super excited because this is something that she feels good at, you know?
Yeah.
But see, you can't get cocky. It's just like when I like watch Jeopardy and it's like one of the categories is like English literature. And everyone in the room is like, oh, Cassie, you're going to kill it. No, I'm not. Because they're going to like have some abstract author that no one knows. You know what I mean? You don't talk a big game.
Yeah. So true. I just had a flashback to a time when we were at trivia night with a bunch of friends. And listen, like, I'm not your trivia girl, okay? Like, I don't really know anything. My memory recall is so bad, but Zach is really good. So usually as long as Zach is there, we will win or get really close to winning. But there was a category about Taylor Swift and I didn't know any of them.
See, exactly. And I bet you that was the one time that Zach was like, Lauren, we've got it in the bag now.
Yeah.
And then they ask like, you know, what is her
I just
brother's...
second guessed myself. Like,
right.
They asked about what the name of her first album was. And I was like,
Taylor Swift.
It was self-titled.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. I didn't remember that. And I was like doubting myself. I'm like, was it Fearless? No, that doesn't seem right. You know, and I was trying to think. And I, like, for example, I didn't know that. Now I know that.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Swiftie than I was then, maybe. Okay, so Ashley said, oh yeah, we get this scene where Leo like deadpans to the camera because he keeps like trying to help her and she keeps telling him to shut the fuck up. And then he just like looks straight at the camera and goes,
I love that.
He seems funny. Ashley and Leo Ashley says that Leo learned Sudoku yesterday, so maybe he should shut up. And I did think that was funny. And then CT and Adrienne are actually working together and they're like feeling really confident and doing a great job. And So CT and Adrian and Jeremy and Olivia are the first to start racing in Heat 1 towards getting out, and they get lost.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, great. I'll give it to production. Great edit of Jeremy coming around the corner as CT. Yeah, like that. I actually was like, if I was CT, and you're like, run.
Yeah. It was a great edit. Yeah, he like slow-moed around the corner.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, but it's like them getting lost cost them the moments that they needed to potentially beat CT and the Chubsters. The Chubsters won.
Yep. Loved it. Loved it.
So yeah, now we get Anissa and Will versus Tay and Leroy running towards the end, and Leroy is stoked on that third place position. I mean, he is stoked, and I just thought that was so funny. I'm like, you're like in the middle, but
yeah. But I get like I am like Leroy. I'm like, but I didn't lose, did I? Like, I know I'm not gonna win, like, but I didn't lose.
Exactly. Derek and Izzy get 5th. Leo and Ashley get 6th. Justin and Aviv get 7th. Heat 2 begins, and this is when we get a little confessional of Theo and America saying that they want to beat Bananas, and she says that every partner she's ever had has said that like every partner she's ever had has been like, I want to beat Bananas, which means that every vet that she's been with has confided in her that they want to beat Bananas, even though to our faces and to his face, they're saying, I got your back, bro.
Well, they also know they can't trust him. So it's not just we need Bananas to lose. It's like I need to beat Bananas. Like I need him. I can't trust him because he'll throw in a vet. He doesn't care. He'll eat them alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on his podcast, he claimed that that's not true, that he doesn't go against people. Okay. Except for this one time and this other one time, that kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
It's like, all right, well, that's enough, babe. When you go against somebody at the final hour, that's enough to really make people doubt you.
Yes. Again, he plays a brilliant game, but just own it.
Yeah. Yeah, own it. Totally. Yeah. So then Bananas incorrectly assumes that the first puzzle that they find is going to be the hardest one. Do you remember this though? That's why I was wondering if that's really how the rules work. Because they find the first puzzle they run past because they think it's going to be hard, but it's an easy puzzle.
They're labeled. So just because it's the first one that they found doesn't mean that was the closest to the entrance, because that's how it was meant.
Okay, so yeah, you were saying that it was labeled, but I think it was only labeled for us.
Are you really? Oh yeah, maybe you're right. What does it say at the bottom?
Puzzle level easy, but that's like a thing they put on, that's an overlay on the screen.
I know, but on the bottom of the board, what does it say?
Oh, it just says the challenge.
Okay, the board
the
doesn't
logo.
say. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it wasn't labeled. I think they ran. He incorrectly assumes this is going to be the hardest one. We have to keep going, even though it's a level easy. They keep going, and that costs them time. And yeah, and then they like finally find a puzzle later, but they didn't know that was what level that was. They were just assuming.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. We had to take a quick break, and now I'm on the other side of my chair because my cat has taken. The moment you get up, your cat takes the warm spot,
Yep, and I've changed because I got hot, and if I turn my fan on, then it messes with the light. So I'm like, I can't. It's too hot.
Yep. All right, well, I didn't even notice that. So yeah, some small changes, but we're back. Okay, so we were talking about how Bananas like incorrectly assumed about the level of the puzzle. So this is when we also learned that Cara Maria has 0 points so far. And Cedric is like, we got to get this girl on the board. We got this,
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, she's not going to last long, I don't think, in this season.
I'm okay with that too,
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, I've actually been wondering how many of these people are people that in real life we would just not vibe with.
I used to love her. Like the earlier season she was on when I felt like she was bullied and she was trying to like figure out who she was, and I loved her back then. But yeah, I don't care for her as much now.
Yeah. So Michaela goes.
What does she
say? Who's Michaela's partner again?
It is?
Yes.
Point for me.
Good job. Yeah, so Michaela tells, I can't remember if this was in a confessional or to Ben's face, but she's like, use your brain, not your mouth.
Oh, God.
She just would rub me really the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah.
She just thinks she's better than everyone. She thinks she's smarter than everyone. She thinks she's like got this and everybody else is dumb and stupid, and if they just listen to her, and it's just like it's starting to be a bit much.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because she has a moment later where I do actually like agree with her when she's talking strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, unfortunately, when you start talking like that, it's like one of those things where you create a situation where someone will cut off their nose to spite their face, where it's just like, you might be right, but I'm so annoyed by you that I'm not going to follow your advice anyway.
Totally. And it's like, this is in large part a social game. You have to be good at the social aspect of it. Just because you think you know how the strategy of it works doesn't mean that you're going to win if you can't also create allies that don't want to cut you out the moment they get a chance.
Right.
Because they find you annoying. So yeah,
Johnny
we'll see
Bananas.
how all of that works for her. I mean, I don't know how it'll work for her. She's a vet, right?
Yeah, she is. I don't know how long though, because she's originally, if I'm not mistaken, originally from Survivor.
Okay, that's what I think so too.
And so I'm not sure she's on this show as a vet.
Right. So she's been on at least a season before.
Right, because it seems like it's all it takes is one for you to be in that category.
Right. And then D, we get a confessional of D saying that she wants to win so she can save bananas. And later we get some unfortunate details that I really didn't need to know. So we'll get to that later. And this is when I'm surprised about how many of these people do not know how to do this dang puzzle, which we talked about earlier. So Michaela and Ben are working well together. We get a good confessional of her being like, there's nothing better than a useful man. And that was a sentence I did agree with.
Yes, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Theo is still trying to find the puzzle, and they've been like running and running and running. They still haven't even made it to a puzzle yet. And America is like, he's gasping for air. I thought this guy was like some sort of track champion or something.
Yeah, that was really funny.
He's got a lot of body to move, but yeah.
Well, and the way that she was like, again, she's good with the quip because she's like supposedly a track star, like, because it's true. I feel the same way about Cara Maria. Like, that chick is strong.
Yeah.
But we have seen her get gassed out repeatedly. Like, cardio is not her.
Yeah.
But just staring at her, you would think she'd be fine.
Yeah. So Bananas on his podcast said that kind of like the moment that the vets got there, they realized that the new threats, that basically like they're old. They're old and out of shape, and the new threats are not old and they are not scared. And so he was just like kind of saying like, we kind of knew that we were cooked in terms of our athletic abilities.
Well, and listen, I think to be fair, Johnny Bananas does look like he's in great shape. Like, you can be in great shape, but you still be old.
Yeah, you can be in great shape for 40, but you're still not going to be able to beat a 25-year-old because
that's
like,
in great shape.
Yeah, and he also said that they weren't drinking, the rookies.
Yeah.
A lot of them weren't drinking.
No, that'll do it.
Yeah, that will do it. So, so they're still trying to find the puzzle. Michaela and Ben finish first, and they're running to get first place, and they get first place in their heat. And then we get a confessional of Cedric being like, I can't go against Gabe. I can't lose this. Like, look at me. Look at him. I literally have to like look up at him. I'm a grown ass man and I have to look up at him. And that was really cute.
That was cute editing. Yeah. Where they made him get smaller and smaller and Gabe get bigger and bigger. Cause I was like, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, totally. I don't know how big Cedric is, but he does seem like a smaller dude. And Gabe, even next to Bananas, Gabe looks like he's 90 feet tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Layla. So Turbo and Sydney get second. Derek and Dee finish and start running. And this is the first time that I noticed that Derek has a knee brace, which I assume we already knew, but I just didn't notice it yet.
I didn't notice it I don't think I even noticed it in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. He has like a big knee brace on that goes on his thigh, on his calf, and then like supports his knee.
Straight Derek.
Yes.
Well, we know that he just had surgery too. Remember,
right.
Like he talked about that in like the first episode, I think.
Yeah. So that must be what that's about. Cedric and Cara Maria ask for a check on their puzzle and it's wrong. And so they just start all over again. Not looking good for them. Bananas and Lekka messed up and they have to start all over again. And we get this confessional of Lekka saying like, it's a guy's week. So I'm going to go with whatever Bananas wants to do. But if it were me, I would not be starting this whole puzzle over again. And maybe that's, you know that they record all these confessionals later. So maybe she's having a little bit of bias because they didn't win. But a little, what is it called when you like change your mind later, but in the moment you didn't feel that way?
Hindsight, Monday morning quarterback.
No, hindsight
is
yeah,
2020. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, it's not that I'm thinking of, but yeah, basically that. And then we time out. It's been 45 minutes. So the game is now over. Bananas and Lekka have literally just wiped their board clean. And so they get back and Bananas and Lekka are announced the losers, and Bananas knew that as they were walking back. He's like, we lost for sure. And everybody is trying to hide their smiles.
Yep.
Everybody's like,
I know. No. Oh, shucks, Banana. It's not you.
yeah, seriously, we're so bummed. Banana and Michaela and CT and Adrian are the first in their 2 heats. And so we find out that Ben and Michaela won. So yeah, they won first place. They choose the male that is going to have to get voted by the jury to go up against Bananas. And it's going to be Gabe or whatever male they choose.
Right. They're narrowing the choices down for the jury.
Right. And okay, so then we get back to the house and everybody's looking fresh as hell.
You know what? They don't normally show us the outfits, and there were a couple that I appreciated.
I loved seeing the outfits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show us the outfits, the challenge. I know you're watching. Show us the outfits. Show us them getting ready. I want to see that stuff. Like, you have some girls that watch this. We want to see the cute stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Getting ready before a party is part of girlhood. It is like one of the best parts of girlhood. And you don't get to have it that often. You get it in college. You get it. Basically, that's it. In your adult life, you don't have sleepovers with your friends. You don't get to like get together and get ready to go out places. So this is such a fun part to watch. We want to see more.
Yeah, especially if there's like, you know, Dee hooking up with Banana. It's like, this is when she's talking to the girls about all of it, you know? This is always when you're going to talk to your girls about all this.
Yeah, when we're going to have to get the dirty details. So we learned that this is the first time that Bananas has lost so bad that he goes directly into a challenge. And Leo says, as a grown man, that gave him the ick when he said, I am the challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this was instant karma.
Instant karma. Yeah. And so now they're all at the bar place, and I guess they take like a bus to and from this bar.
Yes.
And because they were talking on the podcast about how he wishes that there were more scenes from the bus too, because there's a lot of drama that can happen inside the bus, including people making out with each other and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get to that. But Bananas is in full on charm mode. Last week he was holding court. He holed up at a booth and everybody came to him.
That's how he prefers it. Yep.
Totally. And this week he's mingling, he's strategizing, he's trying to get on people's side. And it's, not going to work, but he is trying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so when they're there at the bar, did he like explicitly tell people who he wanted to go against? Because I don't remember hearing him drop a name.
I don't remember him doing that either.
Which is just weird because Bananas normally does. Like, tell people, and a lot of the times they listen to him. Because their fear is that if they don't, and he wins in the sand, they're doomed.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised. I'm like, I don't hear him dropping a name, which is crazy. Do you want to go against Gabe?
Yeah, because no shot that he wanted to go against Gabe. Maybe he just saw the writing on the wall that he was going to have to go up against Gabe no matter what. That seems to be the consensus of the house, is that like, yeah, we're putting you up against Gabe. Good luck, babe.
Yeah, this was odd to me. Like,
yeah, that is interesting.
I feel like Johnny must have thought he could beat Gabe. There's no way he wouldn't have said, here's who I want to go against.
Unless we just didn't see it, but he didn't talk about it in the podcast either. So
I think he thought he could beat Gabe.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so then we get Ben and Michaela strategizing, and Michaela wants to put in a vet male. So she has a lot of opinions at this point. Later on, she changes her mind about her opinions. But right now, she's like, I want to put in a vet. By the way, Ben is wearing a black sleeveless turtleneck.
Oh, it's sleeveless?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's not... No.
I mean, listen, I love Ben. I don't want to diss on his fashion style, and maybe I just don't get it, but I did not love that shirt so much. Anyway, so yeah, we get them strategizing, and Ben is like kind of realizing in this moment, I probably shouldn't show all my cards to Michaela. I feel like she will use it against me. She seems like she's really in her head and has no loyalties really to anyone. Yeah, he's like kind of catching on that, you know what, I'll keep my opinions to myself, maybe.
Yeah, she's making it very clear she's here to play a game.
Yeah.
And she's annoyed with anyone that's like not in that headspace.
Yeah, and it's a mistake.
Right. You can feel that way. You can feel that way, and you can tell the confessionals that.
Yeah.
You just play dumb in there. Like, I don't know, you know, I'm here for the experience of it all. That's the bullshit you tell the people in the house.
Yeah, you don't want them to know how smart and strategic you're being.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's for all of the talk that she has, I think she like misses some key aspects, I think, of pulling off a strategic game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so Aviv says Johnny is her only ally in the house. Did we know that? She doesn't say ally. She says he's the only person that I know I can trust 100%, and I know that he can trust me 100%.
Not right, and that's different. Like, I think because they're obviously making out or whatever, it's given her, I think, a false sense of security. Like, Johnny would still throw her right under the bus, but in her mind right now, he wouldn't. He's the one person that would.
That was D.
Yeah, wasn't it?
I thought it was Aviv, but maybe I wrote down wrong. Tell us in the comments.
Okay, yeah, tell us in the comments. I thought it was D.
Yeah. Then Cedric is so funny. He's like, in his confessional, he's like, this is information warfare.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, wait, is he smart? And Banana said, yes, he's really smart. That he underestimated him. He thought of him as a little child. He like puts on this act, but that he's really smart and really strategic and people should be scared. That's what he said on his podcast. So yeah, he's like, this is information. What?
Of Cedric?
Yeah.
Well, Cedric is, he was an Army intelligence officer. Not officer, I'm sorry. Intelligence analyst. The exact same job Travis had.
Oh.
Yeah. We learned that in episode 0.
Okay. I guess I didn't know what that meant.
Okay. So right then I was like, he's got to be a smart guy. Like, you're scoring high on your ASVAB and things like that, if that's what you did. That was why I didn't buy. That's the test that you take when you go in the military. And it's like your score determines which job you could go into. The higher your score, the bigger pool of jobs you have. And intelligence analyst, you scored pretty high. Like, that was a job that was open to you. When I was going to go in, similar to my husband, I scored really high. I was going to do linguistics. However, I now know that no, I would not have done linguistics, because as soon as I got to MEPS, which is where you go for your medical appointment before you go to basic training, they very, would have said, you're deaf. You're not going to do linguistics. But,
not great for us, unfortunately. So you're going to have to pick a different...
Wouldn't have been helpful, probably.
Yeah.
So that's Cedric's job, or was Cedric's job. So yeah, like I that's why I didn't buy that he couldn't swim right away. I'm like, he can swim. Like, he can swim. And he's smart, he's got to be.
Yeah, he's like, everybody loves me, I would like to think. And I know they all think that I'm like handsome and cute and they want to marry me, kind of thing.
He's cute. I like him.
Yeah. And he says that he doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus. So when they ask him who, he's like, don't look at me. I don't have any opinions. Michaela says, if the game stays the same and you leave someone who everyone hates, you always have an option. And I was like confused. Sometimes whenever she talks, I don't understand what she's saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she means by that either. Unless she's like trying to say, like, if you anchor yourself on someone that people don't like and they get voted out, I don't know, because it's like they're still going to know you. That's who you wanted to partner with. They're going to come for you next. So I don't know what she means.
Yeah, and Ben nodded his head like he understood. So he was like, oh, yeah. So I don't know if he understood or if he was just faking it. But
I was going to say,
and then they used actually what?
I think Ben would have not, like, it wouldn't have mattered what she said. He was in a mind frame of and agree. Like, he had already decided that when he was like, I'm not going to show all my cards to her.
Yeah, and it was almost like Michaela caught on that he was being too easy to get along with, and that's why she like kind of switched tactics later on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, and then they use a clip of Michaela in a confessional saying again, she says, people lack brain cells or they don't know how to use them. I don't know which one. And we saw this clip already before. So it's interesting editing that they put this in again to kind of like feed the narrative that, yeah, and maybe this is just the narrative that they want us to believe. I mean, those words did come out of her mouth, but they want us to think like she feels like she knows what she's doing. So we get back to the house and this is when Dee is talking about how she has an allyship with a ton of vets, and if Johnny leaves, Olivia becomes in charge, and the vets are sitting around like strategizing what to do.
Yeah. Because Olivia Like, Olivia's whole goal is to get Bananas out,
Yeah.
and she's got people that are willing to join her in that fight. But it doesn't seem like they've done a lot of strategizing about what they do after that. It's almost like that seems like such a pipe dream that they just think we're going to keep going for Bananas. Okay. And then
Yeah.
I don't think they're like, I don't think that's even going to happen. So I haven't even dreamed that big.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I totally agree with you. I don't think they thought about the next step. Or if they did, it's not obvious to us yet because they all looked a little fucking shocked at the end of this episode. They're like, fuck, now what?
Yeah.
So Ben and Michaela are strategizing again, and this is when she like kind of takes a step back and she's like, what do you want to do? Let's go with what you want to do, kind of a thing. And then we get a confessional of her saying like, I want to keep my hands clean. So they decide, we find out in a few minutes. So we get to the jury and they have decided at this point what they're going to do. And I actually think it's a really interesting and good strategic move, I think, on their part.
Yeah, because if you pick somebody that people are not going to throw in, then you just kind of by default make it so it is Gabe.
Right. And that's their plan. And they don't want to get on anybody's bad side. They don't want to put a target on their own back by putting in somebody that won't win against Bananas or Gabe in the vote. And so so they decide that they're going to put in Derek Chavez, Gay Derek, and Izzy because they say basically like he's safe. Nobody's going to pick him to go up against Bananas because they don't think that he'll beat Bananas, I think is the idea. And they just like him too much. So they want to keep him in the game. He has too many allies. He has too good of a reputation among the girls, apparently. Michaela says there's an army of silly women willing to go up to protect him. And this is another thing where I'm just like, just the feeling that like she's better than everyone, the guys and the girls, like she just doesn't like anyone. And I just don't like that in a person. I don't like when people are just like, I don't like anybody. I think everybody is a silly, stupid idiot compared to me. And that just isn't a thing I really like in people.
Well, and I totally agree. But I almost think too, it's like I do think that there are some genuine friendships built in this show and in the years that it's been on and all that. And she just has this way about her where you almost feel like she'd be the kind of person who would never talk to any of these people except for on the show.
Yeah.
Like I'm not here to be their friend. I'm not here, which is just like, okay, but you're not even giving them a chance.
It's kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's like fucking enjoy your life. Are you having any fun?
Yeah.
So anyway, they put up Derek and then this is when they send the people that are getting voted about, they send them away.
Yeah, that's normal.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
Because they're not going to be able to vote because they're in the, now that they're nominated or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, they typically send them away.
I just didn't realize that because I thought in an earlier episode we had talked about how they're there to witness who votes for them.
No, we're there. No, because no, I don't think so.
Okay. I think I misunderstood what was going on. This is the first episode where I could look at somebody and be like, yes, their name is X. I didn't know any of these people, so I had a really hard time, I think, following the first few episodes and who even was where at all times. So anyway.
Listen, I fell asleep and woke up and I've never been so confused in my life because apparently the episode had ended and then Amazon just turned on another challenge that it could find. So I wake up and I'm like, what? Did a bunch of new people come on? What's going on?
And why does this look like it was filmed in 1998?
Exactly.
Okay, so they vote unanimously for Gabe, and that was the expected outcome of this. And they joke with Derek that it's him when they get back to the house, and he's like, shut the fuck up. And Gabe says he's sort of excited to go up against Bananas because if he wins, it will hopefully get him back into the good graces of the group. And I fear that this isn't going to be the case. I don't know. I just fear that he's just got a bad reputation among the house. And so...
Yeah, but here's the thing. It also solidifies you as a competitor.
Yeah.
And that's going to make it harder for people to want you to go in, to vote you in, because you're not easy to beat.
Right.
So as long as you don't lose, like whoever loses, if they have any sway in the house, they're gonna be like, I don't want to go against Gabe.
Right. All right. So then this is when we get the little chat between Gabe and Jake, and they're chatting, it is Jake, about how he's lost his confidence. And Jake gives him some advice basically about like how to build bridges again with the group and how to get on the group's good side. So this must be where you fell asleep.
Yeah, this must be it. I did rewatch it this morning, but I might have missed that part.
Yeah. All right. So now we get to the arena, and TJ jokes with Derek Chavez that it was a close vote. And he's like, shut the hell up again. Like, he does seem kind of fun and silly.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And he asks Bananas what happened, and he says they shit the bed. They shit the bed. And we learn that they're playing a game called Hold 'em Back. Have you seen this game before?
I have not seen this game before.
Okay. So it's essentially a game where there's a wall, and there are 3 ropes, and there are 3 big like medallions that they have to get into basket.
A bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, like a trash basket or something. And so they're connected to the rope, and they have to, like, one person is pulling them back and the other person is running towards the target. There's a wall, so you can't see which rope the person is using. And so there's a little bit of a strategy of like running between the ropes, trying to get them as far as you can, dropping them, moving to a different rope. And
Johnny's going to go first as trying to get the medallions into the basket, which means that Gabe is on the other side of the wall trying to stop Johnny from getting the medallions into the basket.
Yes. So
and Johnny has a strategy.
Yeah, and Johnny says, like, I am not going to out-brawn this guy, so I'm going to have to out-strategize him. My speed has to be kind of my strength in this game, is basically what he says. And Gabe is like, I'm 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And 400 pounds. So
well, and he's going to, like, gas him out.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
he says he's going to gas him out.
Right. Just going to gas him out. Yeah. Yeah.
Embarrassing. Okay, so, and it turns out to be he just wipes the floor with him. I mean, it is just, so first Johnny goes, and Johnny is just, he's flying between them. He is going as fast as he can. He's being quick, speedy, trying the best he can. And it takes him a little over 11 minutes to get all 3 of the medallions into the trash basket. And I gotta say, I was on the edge of my seat during this challenge.
I wrote down on that specific part, I absolutely love watching Banana look like a dog on a leash whose owner won't let him go.
I said, come.
There was a point where that's what it looked like. Like, he's on all 4s. And he's giving it everything, and he's not moving an inch.
An inch, yeah. And I did feel a little bad. I will say I'm impressed that he wasn't so humiliated that he just gave up, or whatever. Like, I think that when you're giving it your all and you still lose so bad, it is embarrassing.
It is. Okay, here's what's funny is that when it switches and it's now Gabe's turn to get the medallions in, CT says this reminds him of something.
Mm-hmm.
He can't quite remember, but something with a backpack. And, which he's right. Yes, iconic. But here's the thing. This is the problem with Johnny, is that I remember when the backpack thing happened. And Lauren, I kind of felt like you, where, I felt a little bit bad, But then I see Johnny the next season, and I'm like, no, I don't. I love that scene. I'm going to frame it. I want to watch it every day and make sure everyone else does too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure we will revel in this moment later on when he eventually really becomes an awful person that everybody hates.
Well, this, again, you should not have said this was, you are the challenge. Really? Because the show's going on.
Yeah.
You left this night.
Yep.
Camera stayed up. It's so weird.
I know. It's so crazy how that works. Yeah. And this is also when Dee says that Bananas is a good kisser. And I did not need to know that as somebody who is recovering from my Bananas crush. I know I'm talking a lot of shit about him in this episode, but it's partially to convince myself that he's not hot. And I don't need to hear that he's a good kisser. I really don't.
Yeah. No, look, like I said, I loved CT back when he was just as arrogant and just as, like, I've grown out of that. I appreciate CT for who he's become. Johnny has stayed the exact same.
Right. He has, just like Jax. Dee also says that Bananas might have to ice his knees because Gabe is manhandling him.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
So Banana finishes in 11:33, and he looks tired.
Yeah.
He gassed himself out. So then they switch. And so now Gabe is trying to get his medallions in the trash can. And, the editors did their best at trying to make this look like it took a long time. But he's so fast and he's so big. And Banana says he's afraid to grab the rope because he's afraid his arms are going to get pulled off.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so tough, right? Because like as you watch it and you imagine you're on Banana's side, you're like, dude, just hold the rope. That's all you have, but obviously, did he have gloves on? Like, what are they? Because I'm just like, God, does that burn? Like,
yeah, I don't think he had gloves on. And yeah, the rope at one point was just slipping. Yeah, he was definitely getting like rope burn on his hands, I'm sure. And yeah, so Gabe finishes in 2 minutes.
My gosh.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So he wins.
Yeah.
And he's stoked and he's leaping around. He's like, that's what the new threats, feel or whatever,
Yeah.
all of that. And I love to see a celebration, but I don't think that this came off well to the group.
I agree, which is unfortunate because look, you're just pumped. Like you've been down there now 20 minutes. You had to stop somebody for 11 minutes. Then you go out there and you're just pumped.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're supposed to, I guess, hide it.
Yeah, I think it's just the perfect storm of, I think, his reputation in the house, the fact that it was bananas and some people had strong allyships with him and like didn't want to see him go. And everybody's sort of like, okay, fuck, what now? The whole game just shifted. And so while everyone else is processing the psychological situation that they are now in, where like everything just shifted and the dynamics just got completely switched up, he's like, oh my God, I just beat bananas.
Right. And honestly, the only person in the house that I think really feels that way is Leroy.
Right.
I don't think anybody else is like, oh shit, the game just shifted. They're like, thank God. All right, now I can think of something else. Because before, all I could do was consider what Johnny could do to me, what, like all that. And now he's gone. Leroy, I think, is like just way too loyal to bananas. And he really did put his whole game on the line.
Yeah, and you can't do that with someone who has a target on their back. You just can't.
No.
It's a dumb strategy. Sorry, Leroy.
Yeah.
And I know everything about this. I just started watching it 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, this did shake shit up though. I mean, the looks on everybody's faces, it's like laughs, it's, they're like kind of a little overwhelmed, I think, by this thing that just happened. Not only did he win, but he swept the floor. And then Banana says like, you deserve to be here, man. Good job. You kicked my ass. And he's like, he does lose kindly, which I do really appreciate in somebody.
Look, I do too. It's just that like, I don't know how genuine I find it. Like in the moment, it's like I feel like he knows how he's supposed to act and what he's supposed to say. But then, I bet you on his own podcast or any other podcast that he goes on, he'll talk differently.
Yeah. He didn't say any shit about Gabe on the episode that I listened to, at least. I mean, but he also doesn't, he's like, what was I supposed to do? Of course I was going to lose. And yeah, I think he needs to take a little more accountability on like losing it for the team when they were in the maze and stuff, but whatever, he's not going to. So
he should also put like he should also put more accountability on the target on his back. Like that is a product of your attitude, the way you treat people.
Yeah.
That's why it's not because you're the best. That's not it.
Yeah, he probably doesn't realize that. He also talked on the podcast about how, like you were saying last week, like he knows how to make good TV. He was saying that when he said the thing about, do you have a boyfriend? Like the producers did not want him saying that. And he says it and he's like, and then if something like that doesn't land, I double down because then it becomes funnier and it becomes more of a thing that will make TV. He is constantly thinking about not only the strategy of the game, but the strategy of good TV. And you got to respect the grind of it all.
100%. He's made a career out of this. Good for him. You know, I'm only giving him what he wants. Like he wants me to view him this way. He wants to be the villain. He wants
us to talk about him.
Yes. So honestly, we should edit the whole episode and take out any mention of bananas other than that he lost and went home.
Yeah, because he did. He played a little clip on his podcast of them like constantly saying his name over and over and over again in the house. And I'm like,
we should have come up with a code.
We should. Every time we say his name, we should put like a slipping on bananas sound.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
That'll take way too much time, and I'm not going to do that, but it is a cute idea if somebody wants to edit our podcast for us for free.
Well, I could at least change the subtitles. Like wherever it says bananas, you know how you can like change all?
Oh,
like
yeah.
when you change it, just like change it in the subtitles, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that would be funny.
So every time his name comes up, the subtitles say
Voldemort?
something else. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then we get the selection, and Ben chooses Olivia, Michaela chooses Jake, CT chooses Sydney, Adrian chooses Turbo, Jeremy chooses Ashley, Leroy chooses America, Tay chooses Theo, Will chooses Aviv, Anissa Cedric, Gay Derek D, Izzy, Nee, Brace Derek, Theo, Cara Maria, Justin, Nani, Gabe, Lekka. And this is the first time that the new threats are on a team together. You know, Gabe and Lekka are new threats, and Lekka talks about how being a rookie pair makes them vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now the rookies have higher numbers than the vets.
Yeah. I would imagine they're going to pick them off one by one if they're smart.
Yeah, we will see if they can make that happen. Theo's talking about how he wants the vets to watch the rest of the show on their couch. Banana says Aviv, D, and Leroy and Nani are all vulnerable now. This is when we get his little confessional after he wins. And he's basically like, the people that were in my alliance are now vulnerable because I was the thread that tied it all together. So he says, live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse, and then walks away. Is that like a phrase he says?
I don't know. Again, maybe in the last few years.
And then we see a preview, and the only thing that really stood out to me is that it looks like somebody has to go home next week, not because of an elimination, but maybe for a personal reason of some sort.
I didn't watch the next week clip.
Yeah, somebody ends up having to like compete alone or something like that. So yeah, somebody goes home.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So that's our episode. What did you think of this one, Cass?
I liked this one. I did. And not just because Bananas went home. Not just because of that. But
yeah.
All in all, I thought it was a good one. I liked
on the edge of my seat.
I understood it, which was nice. Sometimes I'm like, what are we doing?
I feel the same way. And then I just think, oh, it must just be that I'm stupid. Okay,
No.
well, that's nice. Thanks, Cass.
No problem.
Yeah, I really liked this episode too. I'm really getting into this. So I know when I'm getting into a show, when I start to like seek out the behind the scenes stuff because I want to know what people are saying about the show. And so this is why I listened to the podcast, the Johnny Bananas podcast this morning. And I've been like checking out social media stuff and looking at what people are saying on Reddit and all of that stuff. So I am invested in this. So thank you, Cass, for having me watch. Let's get into some of the behind the scenes tea and stuff, anything that I haven't already talked about. And then we'll get into our pop culture segment with the Jax Taylor, Kelley Wolf, McBee Dynasty, sister wives of it all.
All right. Sounds good.
So first, let's talk about the Bananas podcast. So he starts off the podcast episode by saying that he got kicked off the Ringer feed. So
And have you looked? This is true, right? Like this, he wasn't like joking around or anything.
No. He's still on the Ringer network, but he's no longer like on their feed. I guess they put all of their shows on one feed so that you can listen to all of their shows on the same subscription. And he got kicked off. So he's like, for better or for worse, I'm on my own, is what he said.
Okay. So but he's still, like, is it still produced by the Ringer?
At least for now, it seems to be. But I wonder what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I wish I would have looked a little bit more because I thought it was a while ago. Like there was something that happened that for just a moment, it looked like he might get canceled. And then, we found out that it was taken out of context and editing made it look one way and it wasn't that way. But I thought that was a while ago.
He alluded to the fact that it had maybe been a while. I think maybe he was just confirming.
Okay.
But maybe it had been a few episodes. He said people have been DMing me asking me where to get my episodes. Like you have to follow on this feed now.
Okay.
Yeah. So he then talks about how this is one of the things he said that really reminded me of Jax. He says that he when he's dating someone, he will pretend like a thing that bothers him doesn't bother him so that he can save it for later and bring it up when there's like to have like leverage over them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Such a dick. He talks about how saying something annoying gets him attention, so he likes to double down on it, and like the producers get irritated with him, but he does it anyway.
And he has Zach Nichols on, right?
Yeah, so this was he was like co-hosting with Zach Nichols, who apparently just had a baby, and literally like his baby is basically a newborn, and he flew out to do this podcast with Bananas.
Again, I haven't watched in a long time. I watched when Zach first came on and all of that, and thanks to shows like VPR, I don't have to try to figure out how to describe him. I now know the term. At least when he was on back then, you would have called him a fuckboy. And there was one chick in particular that he was really being a fuckboy. But he ended up, like, they're married now. They're on their third kid. And to this day, she's amazing. But I'm shocked that he actually like married her and had kids, because you just always thought she was being played. And for some reason, it's hard for me to believe that he's a changed man.
Yeah, he said that he was living in a treehouse when they were first dating, like literally a treehouse apparently. And she was like, "You have a job and you've got money. Like, what are you living in a treehouse for? Like, you got to get your shit together." Kind of thing. So he actually speaks really kindly of her. He says that she's the reason that he is where he is today.
Well, that's great. That's different. That, again, I watched him years ago. I'm glad to see that it's worked out. I think they now have 3 kids under 3.
Yeah, if not 4.
Is it 4?
He said many names when he was talking about his children. I felt like he might have said 4 names, but they've got, because at one point he said that at one point they had 3 kids in diapers. Now they only have 2 or something like that. Anyway, he was bananas. You could tell, like, eyes glazing over. He doesn't give one single fuck about your kids. No. Like, move on to the next thing. Are we talking about me again yet?
Right. Exactly.
They did talk about liking feet, and they talked a lot. They had a little whole segment about how much they both like feet, and they think that women who have good feet, it's a really good sign that they take care of the other parts of themselves. And they will that Bananas and Leroy will sometimes take pictures of people's feet when they're out at the bar. They will take pictures of other women's feet and send them to each other.
Isn't that lovely? I wonder why he got kicked off the Ringer. It's so weird.
He also says that Turbo goes rogue and like does his own thing, and that's part of the reason why it's hard to play with him, is because he doesn't really play well as a team.
I mean, I can see that, but I think that's because no one has ever treated him like an equal teammate.
Fair enough.
You know?
He has to look out for himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then that's when he talks about not having a time limit. So yeah, and then he says that most of the rookies hadn't had a sip of alcohol at this point in the game.
Yeah. And that definitely factors in, because God, yeah, they used to really go crazy. But like I said, I think that's the thing, is that a lot of these new players are trying to make a career out of this, and they're taking it serious.
Yeah. So then we get to kind of the juiciest part of this. So on this podcast, this is where the origination of a rumor began. So are you ready to get into that?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was an origination of a rumor. I'm going to actually share my screen. Let me pull up.
When was this episode recorded?
I guess I think it came out in the last couple of days.
Okay.
I guess I don't know exactly when. Probably whenever this Reddit thread starts, actually. So let me just take a look. So it looks like 11 hours ago, Ben on Threads or X or whatever this is, was talking about America and CT, because there was this rumor that America had tried to or did make out with CT on this episode, that she got really drunk. So they're talking about the drinking at this point.
Okay.
No, America needs to drink more, the country.
Yeah.
America, the challenger, needs to... Actually, she should drink more, too, because the best night that she had was the night when she got annihilated and made out with fucking like 4 people. Tried to hook up with CT, fucking making out with D on the bus.
Those rumors are true.
100%.
And she had a boyfriend.
Yes.
Awesome. Good.
Can confirm 100% America went absolutely fucking apeshit that night.
Really?
Yes, dude. Had to be like...
Okay, so that was the origination of this rumor. So then this is when people were asking Ben on Twitter, and this is when Ben spills about what really happened. So he says, from what I remember, someone had made a joke the next morning, and it was that she was trying to hook up with CT. But basically he says, like, I didn't see her make out with any men. The only people that I saw her make out with were women. She made out with D, and then she, I think, made out with one other woman, is what the rumors now are.
Okay.
So America kissed multiple girls. Yeah, so it says, basically, America got wild and kissed 4 people, likely girls, since Pink, who's Pink, revealed that America's kissed multiple girls that night. Ben said, is Pink Cara Maria's nickname?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. Ben says that someone made a joke the next morning about America wanting to hook up with CT because of her actions the night before, kissing multiple people. And it spread like wildfire, and people in the house actually took it for truth. So Pink and Gamer didn't lie. Who are Pink and Gamer?
I don't know.
That's so weird. Okay. Yeah, because Cara Maria leaves a comment. Okay, so then this is another thing. So Cara Maria left a comment on Johnny's TikTok or Instagram or whatever and said, "Oh my God, I forgot about this. I heard it was Leo though, and D and Tay, and CT ran away, stirring the pot."
Well, that's just it. She said she forgot. You forgot because you weren't privy to any of it, and then I heard it was, so you don't have any direct knowledge.
Right. Yeah, she didn't see her make out with anyone. So we are kind of wondering, some of the people on Reddit and stuff are kind of wondering, like, is he just salty that she kissed D?
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah.
So yeah, that's the tea going on that he has been starting. And then I think that wraps up our challenge tea. Do you have anything else besides the fact that Leroy got married?
No, I don't have anything else, but I'm happy about that. I love Leroy.
Yeah, I love him too. I think he seems really sweet. And I'm glad that as long as he's happy, I'm happy. Although being best friends with Bananas does give me some alarm bells, but I'll let it pass.
Yeah. I don't think he's as bad as Bananas.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not.
I think one day Bananas will betray him when it like suits Johnny, like during a challenge, and then Leroy will see what we all see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Leroy just realizes that it's like in his best interest to be allied.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, give me just a sec. I'm gonna get a little thing to put my mouse on here.
Okay.
It's hurting my hand. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna get into our pop culture in general, our pop culture news. So if you guys want to stay tuned for this, please do. And yeah. So, all right. So coming up next, we have Jax Taylor news. He has been in the news this week for a few different things. The first is that he and Lori stopped following each other on Instagram. And this was like 4 days ago. And people were like, that can't be good.
Well, tell people who Lori is.
Yeah. Lori is Jax's publicist. And she has been his publicist since like, I think day one of his becoming a reality TV star. He said something like 14 years on his podcast this week that she's represented him. And she also represents Brittany, his now ex-wife. And Lori also does the podcast with him every week now because I don't think he's allowed to ever be alone saying anything publicly. So she has to always be there. And yeah, so they unfollowed each other. And Jax is like notorious for blocking people. There's a whole Instagram about it. And so my guess is that she, for whatever reason, pissed him off and he blocked her. And that's why it looked like they unfollowed each other, because he also took her name out of his bio because it says like represented by Lori K. Let's see if it's
Didn't he start following her again?
Yeah. And I think like, so this usually says represented by Lori K. PR. Okay. Lori K. So my guess is that he blocked her, took her out of his profile, and then they made up. They kissed and made up, and then he unblocked her. So then they started following each other again because, and then he put her back into his profile because she's back in it now.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had some sort of falling out. I'm excited to see or hear if anybody has any tea about this, but people on Reddit are wrong. They're like making a lot of assumptions about how she must have like dumped him and all this kind of stuff. I don't think so. I don't think that from what I can tell, she is committed to representing him as long as he's willing to be represented by her, I think.
Yeah.
She said in the podcast this week, she was like, you don't just get rid of your kid when they're bad. Like you still stick by them.
Right. And I think you hit it on the head. Like, he blocks everybody. He probably blocked her. My guess is, if I had to guess, what I think happened is that I think that the story came out that you're going to talk about next. And I think he wanted her to defend him a certain way.
Right.
And I think she probably said no, because I'm not going to like say anything if there's a possibility that somebody could prove otherwise. And he probably got mad.
Yeah, I think that he's in a tough place right now because so he said that his PR person, his manager, and there's like a lawyer, his entertainment lawyer. Like the three of them have been his team for like 14 years. And he said that Lori said on the podcast that they're the only people in his life that are totally honest with him. And it's like, still, they baby him, because on this podcast, she said that there's like a note stock that they share that he adds words to that trigger him so that she doesn't say them to him.
Wow.
And one of the words is accountability. That's one of the words that triggers him. And I'm like, if you're tiptoeing around somebody's triggers, you are not being on it. Like, that is not what helps people grow. It's just being like, okay, just any words that you don't want us to say, just add to the list and we won't say them.
I mean, while I feel that you're right, you're talking about like what a best friend does. And at the end of the day, this is like, he's not making money off of them. It's the other way around. You know what I mean? Like they're making money.
He's their
off
client.
of him. Right. Like if he does, so I mean, I think
but
that's
it's in her best interest for him to behave himself.
Of course it is, but it's not in her best interest for him to look. Jax would just fire someone that holds him extremely accountable and find somebody else. He just would. You know, so that's a hard line to walk where you're trying to make him have some accountability and behave in a way that's going to keep bringing in revenue and whatever. But at the same time, if you go too far, he just will be done. He'll fire you.
Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, now he's no longer on the show. Right now, he has no business prospects at all. He's not on the show. He got removed from BravoCon. All he has is his podcast, I think. So we'll see. I mean, it's actually kind of terrifying because Jax is the kind of person that spirals when this kind of thing happens. And he talked about how when he lost BPR, like all of his addiction and stuff got worse, which it's like, how could it get worse? We saw it pretty fucking bad.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you've got to pull it together a little bit to be on camera or whatever. I don't know. I mean, this is the part of me that always struggles, where everybody else is going to like celebrate and be really happy. I don't like anybody losing everything.
Yeah, I don't either. But Cass, I have to tell you, when I was listening to this podcast episode, I was like, did he fucking fool me again? Because he does not sound like he understands the impact of the damage that he's done. He does not sound like he understands why it's different than any other cheating situation or any other divorce situation. He doesn't, like, the things that I thought he understood before, I actually don't know if he understands. And if he still hasn't come to the point where he genuinely realizes that he's hurt people, then I might lose faith in him again, as much as I want to like believe that he can be better.
I know I just don't know what the answer is, because Brittany had a therapist on her podcast and she asked the therapist, they were going over different things, and Brittany asked the therapist if a narcissist can change.
Right.
And the therapist did not want to answer the question. Like, it was silent for like 30 seconds before she was like, no. And she's like, look, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that as a therapist, because I want to believe everybody can grow and everybody, but I've never seen it. And that worries me.
Was she a therapist or like a psychologist? Do you remember?
I don't remember if she was a licensed mental health counselor, a psychologist. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But she was on like Brittany's latest one.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to go listen to that. I think it's like there is I think that the psychology field is sort of torn on whether narcissists can change or not. And the guy I follow, Psychology in Seattle, who has been he's a psychologist, and he does a YouTube channel, and he specifically treats people with personality disorders. That's his specialty. He treats a lot of people with borderline too. And he says that they can, but it takes a long time, and a really good therapist that is very affirming, but holds you accountable, but like in a loving way. And like, there's a very specific way you have to treat them. And just most people are not skilled in that. And so most narcissists, like when they do finally get help, they're not getting help by people that are skilled enough to actually help them. And so they end up not getting better. So it's like, I think that anybody can probably get better with the right tools and the right help. But if a narcissist only ever gives one therapist a real true try, because they're not likely to seek help, then yeah, it's just like, I think it's just really, really tough and really, really tricky. And yeah, so there's like this belief that they can't be helped, and that really sucks, and I don't like to hear that. And I really don't appreciate that Brittany is going around saying that over and over again, because Jax has this narrative in his mind that she wants to see him fail. And
Right.
I mean, put yourself in his shoes. I mean, he's completely self-centered, and all he ever hears anything through is through his own lens and his own perspective on things. And his own perspective on things is like, she left me, she abandoned me, she doesn't even give a care about me, and she never did. And on top of all of that, she doesn't believe that I could ever improve. Like, if she doesn't believe it, then why would anybody else?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's sad.
I know, it is sad, isn't it? Okay, well, moving on.
Sorry, Jax.
Bye, Jackson. I'm going to do a recap of his podcast episode on TikTok. So if anybody wants to come over to our TikTok, I'm going to do it there.
Okay.
So in other sort of sad news, Kelley Wolf is continuing to spiral.
Man, that is so hard to watch.
Yeah. Do you want to give a little info while I pull up a picture of what's been going on?
Yeah, so if you don't know, which I'm sure you do, if you're watching the challenge, you're probably a real world road rules person. Kelley Wolf was on The Real World and Homecoming, and she's married to Scott Wolf from Party of Five and many other things now, but that's usually what comes to mind. And they're going through a divorce, and Kelley Wolf... well, first of all, she's clearly not well in her mental health. And then I realized that the person that like she considers a guru that she's taking a bunch of advice from is Eric Nyes, also from The Real World, who was just on Beth's podcast. I'm sure everybody remembers Beth, who could forget. So Beth has a podcast. Eric Nyes.
No, I'm sorry, I don't know who Beth is.
Oh my God. Well, everybody else does. I promise.
Okay.
Anyone that's watched the challenge for any length of time knows who Beth is.
Okay.
Beth has been gone for quite a while. I think she would like to come back. I don't get the impression that there's been an invite extended to Beth in a while. So she now has a podcast. And so she had Eric Nyes on just a couple weeks ago, and he talked about, how he's done, what is it called? Ayahuasca,
yeah.
over 300 times solo. That's not including the times he's done it with trained professionals. He is gone. Like he's very close with his dragon, and it's and that's apparently who Kelley gets a bunch of her advice from, and who's helped her get off of medications that you might take for mental health issues. And so, I think going through a mental health struggle is hard enough, but she's putting everything on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you're almost just watching this, like, we'll go through where it's like a day of quiet and then something happens. And in the last 24 hours, it's been more than like this hasn't felt like just straight mania. It's like this anger.
Yeah. And I've been meaning to look up, like, what does it look like when mania starts to taper back down into depression? Because I'm not super familiar with that, the signs of that. Because, it's starting to become angry and spiteful, and she's just like, she's airing out everybody's dirty laundry, and it's like, it's very reckless. And for a while it was very grandiose. It was like, when people are in mania, a lot of times they feel, it's like almost like life feels like effervescent. And that was the vibe she was giving off. Like she might as well have been like radiating a glow around her. But at the same time, she has no money. She can't see her kids. She can't see her, like she's getting divorced.
Which, hold on, just to stop you real quick. We know that because she's posting it. When you say she has no money, she posts pictures of her bank account. Yeah,
she posted a photo of her bank account the other day, overdrawn by over $2,000. But we'll put this up on the screen. So she posted, a photo of her bank account overdrawn by $2,700 with $12 in her other account, and it's like,
I don't want to show the one when because she's also sharing text messages between her and Scott. And this is the part that's reckless. When you said that she's being reckless, is that through all of this, she's been kind of careful when it comes to saying things about her kids other than like missing them, because that was very clear in the judge's order that social media, no mention. So to post what she did like Scott's text to her.
Yeah.
Where we have the kid's name, and I'm like, oh my God, the judge is going to stop letting you even talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what access she currently has, but I mean, she's just like full on spiraling about this now. And it's like for a while she was like flying high, even though she has nothing.
Right.
She was so grateful for the people she had in her life and like the homeless guy she met, and like she like loved where she lived, and she was like, this is what's so amazing about living here. Look at all of these, like, look at all these good vibes. And like, I was at the bar last night and being an alpha female and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And now it's starting to be like she'll post these kind of cryptic. Yeah. It's hard to even know what is going on. They're sort of chaotic, hard to know what's going on. And so then she's posting these screenshots of her texting Scott, and sometimes his responses back.
Yeah.
With like 1,000 explanation points. It's just like very, very, very unhinged behavior.
And he would have every right to tell a judge, look, just based on this, I can't respond to her or let the kids respond to her because I don't know that she won't put it on social media. You've told her not to, and look at what she's doing.
Right. And the other day on her Instagram, she said, like, let's play a game. If you text me in the next 30 minutes and apologize, I'll forgive you. And I bet that this person that she blasted, Julie, texted her within that time frame. But then she puts the screenshots up here and she's like, look how cute, a blast from the past. Well, hey, bitch, want to play? I'm in a bad mood. Yep, damn, gross. Didn't you try and kill someone on a show once? How rude, explanation point, explanation point. And it's like... So
Julie and her do not get along. Julie is also from The Real World. And the didn't you try to kill someone is... from, remember when I made you watch the documentary on the challenge, the 4-part? They showed this one where there were 2 girls basically there were 2 buildings and they were attached to a line, and one girl looked like she was messing with the girl's harness, and everybody panics. Like, that's her safety harness. You can't mess with that. She could fall. It was Julie that was messing with her harness.
Was she actually messing with it?
Yeah, I do think that there was another safety thing. The idea was they had to pull each other off of what they were on. And so I don't think it was intentional, but it's been made to seem like it was. And that's, you know, Julie is part of that documentary where she talks about that scene and just like, okay, there was other safety features. She wasn't going to fall to her death, you know. Yeah. But that's what Kelley's referring to. But the thing is that they were on the same season. So they were on Homecoming together, which was a reunion of The Real World. So this was just a few years ago. And that did not go well. Kelley ended up leaving early. And you never really quite got why. But Julie did not come off well during that reunion show at all. So then when Kelley's spiral started, Julie was getting on Instagram and saying crappy things about Kelley. Like, oh, I thought I was the crazy one. Like, look at what she's doing, right? And then allegedly, rumors are that she also was on the Reddit thread and commenting there. So for Julie to reach out to Kelley and be like, I just want to make sure you're okay.
It's like not in good faith.
Right. What are you talking about? Like, yeah. So that one I was like, well, I probably would have posted that one too. So
yeah, totally. I feel like it's more just the fact that she's screenshotting everything and putting it up and like pinning it to her top of her stories. Like what I was texting you about is like, what does she think this is coming off as? In her mind, what does she think the narrative is? Because to all of us, we're like, you are not okay, babe. Like you need to go back on whatever medicine you went off of because this is not looking good for you.
And I agree. But then here's the other side of it, which is just shitty and the way that it is. Because we're talking about it right now, right? She's gained thousands of followers in the last couple weeks. You know, she's got posts from 6 years ago that had 7 likes. What she's posting now is getting 700. So
which isn't that many considering I think she has almost 80K followers. People are just watching. They're not liking.
Yeah, but that's still way more than she ever had before. And
so she's getting that positive reinforcement.
Right.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody on Reddit that was like, what does it say about the people that like her posts? And I just want to say that it can also mean you're scrolling too quickly. And you
totally.
Because I liked one of them and was like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, you can't put that much stock into that
Right.
kind of thing. Come on.
Right.
People
But
are so
again,
annoying about that stuff, in my opinion.
oh my God, I think so too. I hate that.
I'm just like,
So
just let people live their life. Stop. That's
yeah,
as we like talk about stalking people online and like
I
figuring
know.
out what they're up to.
I know. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you go back a few years, like when you say like, what does she think people's, interpretation of all this is? I don't know that she's even. I think she's just thinking 600 people liked what I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she
And-
clearly does not realize the state that she's in.
No. And she's in a headspace that like scares me. Like when I hear that therapist talk about somebody with narcissism and saying they can't get better, I don't, like I said to you before, I don't have a lot of examples of people getting to this state and like returning to pre-meltdown. Like I will always love Britney Spears forever, but who Britney Spears was before all of it, I don't think we've ever seen her again.
No, I agree with you. And there are lots of celebrities like that. Amanda Bynes, Lil Nas X just got hospitalized. He looks like he's going through something. But you have to also realize that like the kind of pressure and attention and everything else, access to bad things and all of that kind of stuff that they get is so different than you. Like, and their support system is different than you, and that they're probably surrounded by people that enable them. There's just like there's so much different about it.
I don't mean like I'm worried about it for myself. I mean like I genuinely get sad when I see Britney Spears' Instagram.
I know.
I do. Like I'm just like, oh, girl, are you in there somewhere?
Yeah.
Like and so for someone like Kelley Wolf, especially having children, it's just like, dude, is there any way you're gonna, because look, it's not like she's got a bunch of resources right now. It doesn't seem like.
No, yeah, and she's talking about going to Sydney to like be with friends, and the text messages that and Scott in the text messages was saying like, this is harming your children. You need to stop doing this. And it just like it's not registering.
Right. You would think that would be enough. Like when I read his, I was like, if there's anything in there, that would be the thing that would make you nope.
Yeah.
Nope. It's really sad, and I don't know what it says about all of us that we're watching, but I also don't know how to look away.
Yeah, I know. I think about that a lot, and whether it's like unethical for us to talk about these things. We talk about it a lot amongst ourselves, and I think like it is just, you just don't get to see this kind of thing very often. Somebody going through like a true mental health crisis and what it actually looks like. And so it is interesting to watch.
And we're not making fun of it.
What?
And we're not making fun of it.
No, oh my God, no. It's more just like, I hope that something registers at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it makes me mad that like someone was able to convince her that science is wrong and you don't need this medication, that this can just cure you. And that makes me angry. I think that you should get in trouble for convincing someone of that.
Yeah. And it seems like she's down the wrong side of things right now anyway, in terms of,
Which is new.
I bet.
Which is new. Like if you go back and look at some of her posts, she's just a totally different person right now.
Yeah, so weird. All right, can we talk about McBee Dynasty?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so the most recent episode was really good.
You liked that one?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really interesting. There was some like natural tension. The thing with McBee that I'm finding is like sometimes things feel very staged.
Yes.
And very like scripted almost. The scene it's not literally scripted, but they set it up, they tell them what to talk about, and then they play the camera. And then sometimes we get like some genuine authenticity. I do like to watch what these people do that weren't really meant for reality TV, but that are here anyway, watching them kind of navigate this situation.
Yeah.
Scenes between Steve Jr. and Kella this episode, when he says that he got a bolo tie.
Oh my God.
He was thinking maybe she could choke him out with it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm blushing.
Yeah. And I think it came up on their podcast because they have a podcast too.
Who?
Steve McBee Jr., Cole.
Cole, okay. I thought you were going to say Kella. I'm like, oh my God.
No. Yeah, so I think it was on there where they asked him, like, so what's about, you know? And he's like, I just thought it was like, it just looks nice. Like, okay.
Yeah, no, he's into that kind of thing. And they, like, I think that what was very clear to me this episode is, like, they just have a ton of fucking sexual chemistry that they can't make sense of.
Oh, 100%. Like, who hasn't been there? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you guys are going to work out, but it's cute.
Yeah. And yeah, we've all been there where we're like, I can't fucking quit this, even though I know how toxic it is. I just cannot walk away from this.
Yes. And that's where they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Also, Cole, when he was picking up, when they went like ring shopping, and he was like, his mom was like, so what shape do you think she likes? He's like, she's told me so many times and I can't remember, which is so annoying. He's the worst boyfriend and partner. He's the one that, like, everybody hopes they don't accidentally get. And, like, or hopes changes in terms of, like, yeah, you never are fucking listening to me.
Yeah.
I've told you these things that you should be really writing down and paying attention to, because I'm not going to say them more than, you know, once or twice.
Yeah.
It's just really annoying. But anyway, he says that he thinks that she likes a rectangle cut.
I think he means emerald when he said it. I'm like, I think that's what he's meaning. Yeah.
Yeah, a rectangle cut.
Also, like, that means he at least, like, looked at her phone when she was like, this one. You know?
Because I remember when I first started looking at rings and I didn't even, like, realize that they came in different shapes.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that is how, like, not knowing about rings I was. So
Wow.
the fact that, like, I'm not surprised at all. Men don't know anything. So the fact that he even knew that was nice. But yeah, so they go ring shopping and he picks out a gorgeous ring that I think it was a really safe ring too. I think anybody would love that ring.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was a huge rock, and it had a thin band, which most of the girlies like these days because it makes your fingers look skinny, I think, is why people like it. And yeah, so he picked out a good ring. And then did you get the sense during that whole date thing, which was, by the way, really thoughtful, but, like, that's why he's such a sucky boyfriend, because it's like, I know you have it in you, but the fact that you only turn it on 1% of the time when you want to get something out of me or when you want things to go well is so annoying. It's like, just be thoughtful other times too.
Yeah. And that whole scene, like, first, until she said, I don't think we're there yet. Until then, I thought, like, this is a really daring dick move to act this much like you're about to propose and then just say, here's a key.
I think he was about to propose.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I thought that he was trying to, like, leave all of these little hints so that when he did, she would be caught off guard because he was so, like...
No, I thought he was teasing. I thought he was teasing her.
Okay, well, that changes my whole perspective, because I thought, like, up until that, I felt like he looked a little deflated and he was, like, gonna propose and then didn't.
I think he was deflated that she's the one that said, I don't think we're there yet. But I don't think he's there yet. And that was fine with him until she wasn't there yet.
Oh, I see.
And then he seemed a little bit like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But no, I don't think he was going to propose. I think it was just going to be the key for now.
Do we know if they're engaged?
You know, again, somebody's going to correct me in the comments. I'm pretty sure they're not. But now that I say that, I'm sure somebody is going to be like, look, idiot, do you guys even watch any of this shit? Because you don't know.
I know, seriously. Let me look it up really quick. Cole McBee. I mean, if she's smart, she will not marry him. That's my opinion. And I know that's probably, like, a mean thing to say.
Well, I mean, they already have a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to marry someone.
No, I know, but it's like, you're saying that as if, like, she should just move on with her life. Like, well, she's tied to him forever now, no matter what. Like, I would be more concerned with that than the marriage. Like, you can leave a marriage. Trust me, once there's a baby, there's no escaping the other person.
Yeah, no, I know. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have had a baby with him. I would have chosen to not take that path. Even though I'm sure in the circles they run in, that is very frowned upon.
Oh my God. You would probably, I mean, if that had ever happened to any of them, they told no one and just went and did what they needed to do.
Right. And then voted against women having those rights. Casey. Yeah, it was so sad to watch her do the photo shoot alone. I'm like, that alone
that was awful.
Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't look like they're engaged.
No.
Yeah, so good. Honestly, good.
Yeah. They have
that
their
makes me happy.
Little
their
girl.
daughter's very cute.
Yes. Oh my God.
God, they're so country. Okay, so the other thing was Jesse's whole storyline in this episode. What did you think about all that?
Man, that one made me nervous. Like, I mean, I think high school sweethearts are always tough. Obviously, we know that it works sometimes. You know, it's
Yeah.
not as if they'd be the only ones ever. But I do think it's rare, you know, and seeing him kind of freak out and just, it would be very hard for me to have a partner that said things like, I appreciate that he can be this honest with her.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign. But when he said, like, you know, you just have that thought of like, is there anything else out there? I don't know how I'm supposed to take that other than you're thinking there might be something better. That's ow.
Yeah, my read on this whole thing. So in the episode, Jesse has an anxiety attack and he's never had one before and he doesn't really know what's going on. And then he looks it up later and finds out that it was probably an anxiety attack. And I felt like,
which also like good for him for growing up where he's grown up and being around these people and being willing to say that on camera.
Yeah. And they were like, we've never seen him cry. And he was crying. And Cole was like, no, he wasn't. And he was like, yeah, he was crying. So, yeah, so I think that what was going on for him was he's the kind of person that has always gone along with what people want him to do. This is yet another example of that, where his girlfriend wants to get married, so they're getting married. And he hasn't taken a ton of agency in his life. And so he feels like he is in the back seat, riding in the car that's driving his life. And then all of these people start getting in his ear, these people that he loves and respects, saying like, hey, dude, are you sure? Because what if she tries to take you for your money? What if she does this? What if you guys get divorced in 15 years? What if you turn out like dad? Like all of these things. He's seen this terrible example by his dad and he just like really got in his head about it. And it's almost like he's having a midlife crisis 15 years early. Like, I think I feel like a lot of men wake up one day and they're like, holy shit, what is my life? I like have a family with kids and I'm in like this job and I've just been going along with it.
Well, I think we all go through that.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know why I feel like men are more likely to do what society wants them to do and then wake up one day and realize like, wait, what the heck just happened to me?
I mean, I think that men tend to do it more like maybe in the process of raising kids, whereas I think for women it starts to like, you start to see it as your kids get a lot older.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
You know, like then you're able to like, okay, wait, what? You know, like this is my identity. If this is not, then what have I done with my life?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, he has a panic attack and yeah, and he has like a hard episode and it's like, yeah, him and his girlfriend do not want to live in the same place. Or fiance, now wife, they have like some genuine like disagreements about things that they assume is going to work out. But yeah, she's living like all alone in this big old house.
Well, I think what's probably hard with being with someone like him is that you probably don't know, like you just said, they don't want to live in the same town. I don't think anyone knows where Jesse wants to live because
so true.
I'm sure that there's times where he's talking to her about like what his family expects from him.
Exactly.
You know, and she's like, fuck that. Like, you don't have to do. And then his family is, you know, he's telling them, well, here's what she wants. And they're like, fuck what she wants. You know, like no one's really. And I don't know that Jesse totally knows what Jesse wants.
Yeah, that was kind of like what I was trying to say is like, he's just going along with everything. I don't think he's thought about what he wants. And so now he's been with this woman for so long that the expectation is like, yeah, we have to get married. What are we doing here? You know, like, when are you going to put a ring on my finger and marry me? And she's made it abundantly clear what she wants. And I think he's just like, he's going along with it because it's what he's supposed to do. And like, it's the path of least resistance.
Well, I mean, yes, but I also think that she could be the one. He could really love her. Like, this could be the person he should be with. But I think everybody else in his ear, it's just one more thing that he's like, do I want this? Do I not want this? I don't know. Like, I'm so used to just avoiding conflict and trying to make everybody happy.
Right. Well, we'll see how it all shakes out. I mean, they are married now, so good luck to them. And our last little piece of pop culture is the Sister Wives is coming back.
Yes, Sister Wives is coming back in September, which is crazy because it's normally a lot longer between seasons. So the theory is that because of Cody, the husband on the show. He's going to be on Special Forces. So it seems like maybe TLC is trying to pounce on the fact that he'll be on our TVs for that, to do Sister Wives.
Yeah.
We are not going to recap Sister Wives because there is a podcast that does it so perfectly. But we will do Special Forces because we're going to have Cody and Brittany. And that just feels like an opportunity we can't miss.
Yeah, we can't miss that. So we'll definitely recap Special Forces, Brittany from the Valley / Vanderpump Rules. And we're also going to have to recap Traitors because Travis Kelce's mom is on it. Yeah. And also The Traitors is the best fucking reality TV show, petition show, in my opinion, that has ever been. So yeah, we've got some really exciting recaps coming up. We will see how we're able to split our time between everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. Thank you everybody for joining us today.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yes, this was a good one. I love ya. And we will see everyone next week for our recap that will be out next Saturday.